Spain, a land of beauty and mystery, castles and cathedrals, a land rich in history and culture. And now on this landscape, a temple in Madrid, its sparkling marble spire reaching toward the azure blue sky. It serves as a symbol and reaches out to the people in peace and hope. Years ago, it was not yet a dream. Now, President Gordon B. Hinckley dedicates it as a house of the Lord.
It's magnificent. It's a credit to all of Spain.
He forms a friendship with the famous Lladró family, who have created this figurine in honor of the temple. He has an audience at the palace with the king and queen. Missionaries past and present are united. And church members know it is a dream come true.
We feel blessed.
Here now, the saints in Spain, a faith defined. It was a clear, crisp morning in Madrid that would prove to be a memorable day for many people before it ended. This Saturday climaxed a 3-week open house for the new temple. Visitors began arriving at a trickle. They have read, they have seen the advertising that this is to be a place for families, so they brought their children. They have come to see this temple. It sits on a square or traditional Spanish plaza, along with the Missionary Training Center, Genealogy Center, and Stake Center, and a distinctly Mediterranean garden on one side. All of this situated in a pleasant neighborhood. Across the street, playing fields where youngsters are engaged in a soccer game. The temple is surrounded by high-rise apartment buildings. Many residents of the area have come to see this new addition to the neighborhood. One woman calls it magnificent, very beautiful.
Even though I have my own religion and I am really practicant. I'm not somebody who has a religion for name. I am practicant, but I have a respect for Jesus, how do you call it? Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints, yes.
We have family, but they don't have, they are also Catholics, and in any case the source is the same, Jesus Christ. Then we are brothers.
Her husband says the two faiths have the same source, Jesus Christ, that we are all brothers. For church members, it is an opportunity to tell fellow countrymen about their newfound faith, an opportunity for recognition.
I'm sure all the neighbors here, they now know who the Mormons are, and you hear the comments and people saying good things about the church. They don't think that it's a cult anymore. They think that it's a church that not only because the building is big, just because they see all these people coming through, see all the members. So it's going to be a great thing.
And on this day, former missionaries began arriving. Jill Cornea was serving in northern Spain in 1993 when the church announced it would build a temple.
I can't believe that it's really here and happening. It's just outstanding to walk through and see all of the hard work and dedication kind of come to a full circle and to see a lot of things take place and happen.
By midday, more visitors arrive. They first walk through a display and see pictures of the inside and read about the purpose of temples. Ushers explain what it means. Many contemplate this very different building. Then they enter the temple, asked first to cover their shoes and to speak quietly when inside La Casa del Señor, or the house of the Lord.
It is a miracle, and it is an answer of many prayers, many prayers. And it has been also a blessing, or that is a blessing, because of the faithfulness and the diligent service of many members and also missionaries.
Elder Uchtdorf calls this a new era for Spain. The LDS Church has only been in this country for 30 years. Now there are 30,000 members who, because of the temple, have gained confidence.
We had times when parents did not want to tell the school where their children went to that they are members of the church, because it's a Catholic school. 97% of the population is Catholic, but Spain has opened their doors, their hearts to the church. The people came to the temple. The government representatives came to the temple. The mayor of Madrid came to the temple. Everybody said it's a marvelous addition to Madrid.
As the day progresses, the crowd increases. On this final day of the open house, thousands of Spaniards have come for a tour. They want to know what the temple looks like on the inside, and they want to know about the church that built it. Church public affairs representatives from Spain were responsible for getting the word out, for telling their countrymen about the significance of this edifice.
In Spain, we have a lot of buildings of religions, of the government and things like that, museums, but this is a special symbol.
It was also important to them that the media respond to the opening of the temple.
We had a case of a gentleman who came with his wife, as a surprise. He showed up and he said, look, it was for the VIP tours, and he said, I just wanted to give my wife a surprise. Will I be allowed to come in and see it? I heard the interview on the radio yesterday. I've seen the newspapers. Could I come?
And come they did, as church leaders and members had hoped. By evening, not only was the plaza filled, but the line went out the gates, around one corner, down the street, and around another. People waited for an hour just to see it. 30,000 church members suddenly turned into 100,000 visitors. If, as members say, the temple was the first miracle, this crowd was surely the second. Just outside Madrid is a beautiful city with a charming old plaza. It is also a city where the storks nest. The residents welcome them. These birds mate for life and are loving parents. This city dates back to Roman times when it was called Complutum. It is now known as Alcalá de Henares, and it is the site of one of the first universities in Spain. The facade dates back some 500 years. But it is not the only claim to fame here. Alcalá is also the birthplace of Miguel de Cervantes, Spain's greatest writer. His story of the noble Don Quixote lives on. And in this city full of Spanish history, a group of saints meeting on a typical Sunday, joining their voices in praise of the Lord. But this day is not so typical. Their ward has expanded to welcome many Americans, their longtime friends, here to join them in celebrating the dedication of the temple.
En verdad que tenemos más amigos y mejores amigos aquí en España que en los Estados Unidos.
Jonathan Hume has traveled from Houston to tell of his love for them and the church. He and his wife Sherry met as missionaries in Spain 27 years ago. They have never let go of their feelings for this country.
Sherry and I have frequently commented that we feel even closer many times to our Spanish friends than to those friends we have at home, because there is something very emotional about their language that helps to share the feelings that they have in their hearts.
We hope when we come back, we can kind of give them a little more, support. But a lot of times they end up giving us more of a support. I mean, our testimonies are lifted by hearing their testimonies, and it's just what goes around comes around kind of thing. And that's why we just can't give it up. This is our 32nd trip to Spain, so we're pretty committed. We love these people.
George and Peggy Ricecamp love these people as well, and their ancestors. They have spent decades helping the Spanish saints with their genealogy.
There are tremendous people in Spain. There just are. The spirit here is incredible. Some of the dearest friends we have and some of the best members of the church are in this very room right now. It's true. It really is.
I remember the two young men that were confirmed today. I was here when their grandparents were baptized, and they had 10 kids, and you can see 2 or 3 of the total here. And it's just exciting to see people's lives change and the growth and all that the church has grown and become in this time period.
Another visitor, Stu Nelson from Idaho, was a missionary here 20 years ago. He is overcome with emotion to find such strength in the gospel.
I wish that I could show my children and my members in my ward at home what the church means to these people here, because they do not take it for granted. They love it and they cherish it and they honor it and they polish it and shine it and are proud and happy and blessed to be members of the church.
One of the people he's talking about is this man, Faustino Lopez, a much loved and respected church leader. He was one of the early converts in Spain.
I was Catholic. I was looking for something more. And while I was looking for answers to questions in my life, I received a phone call from a friend who found the missionaries, or the missionaries found him. When I was with the missionaries, I felt something. It was as if someone were telling me, I think this is your turn. And it was not easy in the beginning. I didn't know it exactly, but I felt something with the missionaries. I felt something special. They were 19 as I was, but they had something different. And finally I found out what was different with them. And then I was baptized to try to be like them.
That was January 1971, and there was one small branch in all of Madrid, instead of this ward house now bursting at the seams.
Now we have 2 stakes, 1 district, and a temple. And when we think about the temple, we feel as if it were as a dream, something impossible. I think this is a miracle. We don't know why, but here it is. The miracle of the Lord giving us something we do not have. It is here because we feel we do not deserve it, but here it is, and we will try to be faithful to it and be worthy of this wonderful blessing.
The blessings the Lopez family look forward to are marriages and sealings in the temple for their 5 children. They say this shining building stands as a symbol that their country and the church are in harmony.
The temple in Madrid means that the Lord and the prophet have faith in Spain, more than us. So we need to feel their faith in our country and in our future.
And here is another family looking to the future. Marie Jose Diaz has been a member since she was a teenager. Her parents are still not happy about it. But much to her joy, her husband Alberto was baptized this year.
Es lo que he notado, que ahora que es de la iglesia, la verdad es que está muy bien.
It's really hard during the time, like just the general things, reading the scriptures as a family, saying the prayers at the table. But he didn't mind the prayers, but sometimes when she had to do her visiting teaching, it was kind of hard for her.
Han sido algo que he sentido muy especialmente.
The emotions that he felt were something very, very special for him that really touched him.
Debía hacerlo, debía adquirir unos compromisos con el Señor.
He went and he in a really short period of time, when he decided he needed to find out that he really needed to decide to make some covenants with our Heavenly Father.
Daughter Deborah and her little brother, also Alberto, look forward to being baptized by their father, and their father is very pleased about the temple. The Diaz family, with many others, awaits the opportunity to join hands in this temple to seek the blessings of this holy house of the Lord. The works of the Lladró brothers of Spain are considered some of the finest porcelain of the century. Their style is unmistakable, their ability to evoke emotions lasting. Juan Huerta has designed Lladró figurines for 34 years, but never did he have an assignment like this one. A figure of Christ to stand as a symbol of friendship between peoples of two countries, to honor the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and its new temple in Madrid.
He enjoyed very much this
Me
type
gustaría
of work,
pues que gustara sobre todo a todos los.
and he hoped that that figure, that special figure for him, that will be an opportunity for your community.
Huerta knows almost nothing about the church and has never traveled to Salt Lake City, but was very impressed with the sculpture that served as his model. In 1819, Danish sculptor Bertel Thorvaldsen was commissioned to create a great statue of Christ. It still stands in the Cathedral Church of Our Lady in Copenhagen. This reproduction of the Christus is an inspiration to people from all over the world who stop to see it at the North Visitor Center on Temple Square in Salt Lake City. The process for the Christus replica in Spain took a year. The LDS Church was first interested in a model of the Madrid temple, but the Lladró family said they do not create buildings, rather human and animal figures. Then came the idea from people of two different faiths, and Mr. Huerta's drawing of Christ was agreed upon.
Well, just immediately the artistic committee approved the design and then start working in the Christus.
It took him 2 months to complete the clay model. He says it was satisfying work and a spiritual experience.
Me ha ayudado.
He said that the Christus helped him. I think it's right, because it's a perfect piece.
And perfection is what the Lladró artisans wish for each piece that begins with their special recipe for liquid porcelain. First created in China, then copied by Europeans, the formula was once the most closely guarded secret in the history of art. Every clay model is sliced into segments and carefully molded in alabaster, a material that allows the artist to maintain the delicate detail work. The Christus was separated into 4: the head, the arms, and the body. Some Lladró sculptures have as many as 200 fragments. The next artist then puts it back together, not with glue, but again, liquid porcelain. It is a very painstaking process, done with patience and an eye for detail. She dips her brush in water to clean the sculpture's surface. Color is added at this point, but not for the Christus. It will remain in this pure white. Before being placed in the kiln, it is sprayed with a fine layer of transparent varnish, which gives it the characteristic crystalline finish Lladró is famous for. It bakes for 20 hours at more than 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
This is the #1 piece of sculpture, which Jose Lladró, one of the founding family members of the Lladró factory, will deliver to President Gordon B. Hinckley. Along with it is included this certificate.
It reads, "This figurine, made in high-temperature porcelain by Lladró artists, drawing inspiration from the original by Bertel Thorvaldsen, was created in commemoration of the opening of the very first temple in Spain pertaining to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints." This certificate will always accompany each Christus figurine purchased anywhere in the world. One will have a permanent position at the reception desk inside the Madrid temple for all to see.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That is beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
President Gordon B. Hinckley was very pleased and impressed with the Christus and touched by the hand of friendship the family offered. Jose Yadro, one of the founding brothers of the company, traveled from Valencia to Madrid to deliver this piece, as well as one President Hinckley would give to Spain's king and queen.
Made in Spain.
Hecho en España.
Don't ever forget that.
No se olvide eso.
Made in Spain.
You tell that to the king.
Yes, you'll tell that to the king. Made in Spain by Mr. Yadro. This will add to this beautiful temple.
Va a agregar muchísimo a ese templo hermoso. La estatua.
It is a great tribute
Un tributo magnífico
for you to make this beautiful piece of porcelain,
para hacer ese porcelana tan bonita,
which will stand in this house which is dedicated to the Lord Jesus Christ.
This is the least we could do, and I told Mr. Howard before that I am not working now for anything other than the civic betterment and love of the people of the world.
Well, bless you.
Then the presentation to church leaders of the special certificates that will accompany each Christus.
President Monson.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Elder Holland.
Thank you very, very much. We're very honored. Thank you. Gracias. Gracias.
Now, beautiful. Here are some CDs of the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
Discos de música del coro tabernáculo del Mormon.
That's the world-famous choir. They sang here in Madrid.
Coro famosísimo que cantó en Madrid en el Escorial.
Here is a book we'd like you to have.
Hay un libro que queremos regalarle.
Of the church in many lands.
Relacionado a la iglesia en muchos
Now,
lugares del mundo.
some night when you can't sleep,
Es noche cuando no puede dormir.
Pues entonces a mirarlo, ¿no?
what's that?
He says, yeah, then I get to read.
When you can't sleep some night, you open this book.
Voy a abrir el libro.
And it'll put you to sleep.
Just lifting it. Thank you for signing it. Otherwise, I would have asked you to sign it.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. As they say in Spain,
Como se dice en España.
muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. You speak it?
No, poquito.
Poquito. Muchas gracias. ¿Cómo está?
Poquito.
Hasta luego. Hasta mañana. That's all.
Saludos de Yadro.
Saludos.
Saludos a su majestad.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Okay.
President Hinckley next had an audience with King Juan Carlos and Queen Sofia, something considered quite remarkable. The Spaniards say very few foreign visitors receive such an invitation. And from the number of photographers and reporters, it was to make worldwide headlines. There are many royal palaces throughout Spain, 6 alone in Madrid. But this one, called Zarzuela, is the one where the king and queen live and where they receive special guests. This special guest, however, is no stranger. This would be President Hinckley's 3rd meeting. The first time in 1978, when, as a member of the Council of the 12, then Elder Hinckley was traveling through Spain. The second in 1992, when President Hinckley gave the King and Queen a personalized leather-bound Book of Mormon. And now, the leader of a worldwide church, barely in existence in Spain 30 years ago, would visit again with the sovereigns to present a gift, a symbol of a finished temple and an important symbol of friendship.
Good morning, Your Majesty. So nice to see you. Good morning. Nice to see you again. Good morning. Good morning.
Your
Majesty. How are you? Mr. Simone. Mr. Lopez. Mr. Staley. Well, yes.
Present, please.
All right.
Come straight from Sorbet City?
Yes.
Yes, straight.
Yes.
And it's far away?
Yes.
Quite far away?
Yes, it's a long way away. You've never come to see us there.
No, but the Olympics are here, so
Does this visit signal the King and Queen's acceptance of the church in Spain? President Hinckley says perhaps, but there's no doubt about the fondness expressed.
He's been very friendly, especially today. He was very warm. After the press had left, we talked about things, and when we were about to leave, he threw his arms around me, gave me a warm abrazo. We just had a very pleasant time with him. We invited them to come to Salt Lake for the Winter Olympics. They both ski, they enjoy skiing. They may do it. We'd be very happy to entertain them there.
The Yadro family is very well respected in Spain. Does their participation also signal acceptance?
Yes, it does. It's typical of Spain's great cultural inheritance. The Yadro family has done a tremendous job. Their products are only 50 years old, and the way they've marketed that product across the world has been tremendous. It's easy to buy Yadro products right in Salt Lake City. And it was a very pleasant and happy experience to meet Mr. Jose Yadro and his wife and talk with them and accept from them their very gracious gifts of this porcelain statue of the Christus.
The Christus figurine has a place of honor inside the New Madrid temple. President Hinckley is very pleased with this house of the Lord. He calls it magnificent.
What will this new temple do for the members of the church here in Spain?
It'll mean the realization of their fondest dreams. They've been waiting for this for a long time. I came here in 1992 and selected this site, and we had a terrible time getting title to the property. And then in 1996, I came here and broke ground. And now to come here for the dedication is a wonderful experience, and it's such a beautiful piece of work.
President Hinckley also calls the temple a beacon of light for the church. It will undoubtedly help the missionary effort, he says.
It lets people know that we're here, that this is a stable organization. We're here to stay. It isn't just a passing thing. We made this large investment here. This has become, in effect, another temple square. It is certainly the temple plaza of Madrid.
Will this also be a point of pride for the people of Spain, even if they are not members of the church?
I think it is. I hope that it is. I hope that they take pride in it, because it's certainly an asset to the city. Such a beautiful structure and such a beautiful sight at night. It is tremendous.